Hello friends, welcome back as we build awesome paper circuits. I hope you had a fabulous day yesterday. It was so sunny here. We really enjoyed it. We went out running. I hope that you had a chance to go outside and enjoy the outside, socially distanced of course, and safe. But I hope that you had the chance to go have fun. If you are ready to get started, you can actually start cutting around the black solid line like Georgia is right now. And I'm just gonna go over some of the things that we need for today and we'll get through our shout outs before we start making our fun little traffic light that can tell things to go and stop, which is really important because we have some cars and buses in our cities and we definitely wanna make sure that everybody is safe. So what you will need to do the project with us today is you need the printout. So this came in your email inbox with our patreon.com/rosieresearch. It comes with all of our paper circuit templates and you can support us at any level from as little as $1 a week, which really helps us continue to create all of the things that we are creating right now. And we want to make sure that everybody has access to it so everybody can get in on the learning fun. So you need to print out that template. I suggest thicker cardstock just because it helps your projects last longer, but if you have regular paper, it'll work on that too. You need some conductive tape, so this is copper tape. There is conductive tape that looks silver, which is aluminum tape, and that will work too if you're looking at something like that. I like sort of this thickness. Sometimes they come really thick, and that would be hard to do these things with. You need some non-conductive tape, so something that looks like a paper or a plastic tape, masking tape, washi tape, scotch tape, electrical tape, duct tape. All of those tapes will work as your non-conductive tape. You're gonna need a battery to power your circuit. We use CR2032 batteries. You might have something slightly different. You just wanna make sure it's 3 volts. And then you're gonna need some LEDs. I've got a whole bunch of colors. You might choose that you want your stoplight to be from a different universe, and maybe you have different colors instead of red, green, and yellow, but you can also add red, green, and yellow. And we'll wire up all 3 LEDs today. You need something to poke some holes, whether that's a hole puncher or like something metal or a pencil will all work for you. You're gonna need scissors, and then this isn't optional, but today's circuit has a whole lot of these little tiny bends in them, and if we break it, we wanna be able to fix it easily, and you can do that with some aluminum foil. So I can show you guys some tricks with that today if you have some handy. If not, I'll show you another trick that will also work to make those fixes. All right, let's get to our shout outs and then we will get cutting. I see Georgia's already ready with her cutting. So if you finish your cutting, you can actually start folding on these gray dotted lines.
Which way do you go? This way?
We always fold into the circuit to cover up the circuit pieces. Yeah, good question, Georgia. All right, let's see who we have here today. If you want a shout out, make sure you type it in the comments box of YouTube or Zoom, or I think we might be on Facebook still.
I think we're on Facebook.
I think we're on Facebook. So any of those comment boxes. Although Facebook you might not come into Evan.
Yeah, I'll see it on Facebook.
He'll see it on Facebook.
We have our morning crew.
Yay! I love our morning crew.
We got Miss Naomi up first.
Hello, Naomi!
And
It's
then
good to see you.
Johnny Be Good is here.
Yay! Hello, John! This is going to be a great one for you.
He's ready for the challenge circuit.
I know. Thursdays are our challenge circuit days. We're going to do that every week.
Yeah.
The hardest circuit will be on Thursdays.
We got Kaya.
Hello, Kaya! Oh, Kaya's a snap circuits master right now.
And it's a good thing you told them to type it out because we got Brody, Zoe, and Chase here.
Hello, Zoe, Brody, and Chase! It's good to see you guys. I'm so happy that you're here with us. It was fun seeing you guys in Zoom yesterday too. That was awesome. You guys like popped in at the last moment.
I loved it.
But I'm glad. And now this time you'll be able to maybe pop in the whole time.
Ooh.
Which is a win.
The Zoom is open for anybody who wants it.
Yes.
You can't pause it in Zoom. So if you're thinking you might need to pause, definitely stay on YouTube.
True story, yeah. So stay on YouTube if you want to hit pause and take it a little slower. Or you could have Zoom open with YouTube. Just make sure you mute. Well, does that matter? No, that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so then you're good. And Zoom, Evan will also, any questions that you have, you can type out and Evan will answer them for you. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do, which you guys are probably all way ahead of me on, I see Georgia is like, she is cruising today. We are gonna cut out on the thick blue lines and you'll notice, or not the blue lines, the black lines, you'll notice some of the lines go a little further in. So they make these little tabs that we will end up using to fold and hide our circuit. And I really like to hide our circuit because it helps the circuit stay a little bit more stable. When the circuits aren't hidden, we always, as we show everybody gets so excited they want to hold the circuit, they want to touch the circuit, and then all of a sudden the circuit doesn't work. And it's hard to kind of see maybe what broke on the circuit during that point. But if we hide our circuit, as they handle it, they don't accidentally touch something maybe that doesn't want to get jostled. So, and again, I have got these two little tabs here that go in. So we'll just cut those guys in like that. And we're ready to fold. Georgia, you're being so patient. I appreciate you right now. All right, so we are going to fold all of our stuff, and we always want to pre-fold or pre-roll anything. So in all these dotted lines, you're gonna fold towards the circuit. So Georgia asked, which way do I fold? You always want to fold towards that circuit.
So you fold it this way?
Yep, you're gonna fold that one
Just
up,
like here?
just like that to cross, yeah. Just to that top little piece right there. And then these guys sort of fold over like this, just right along that line.
But I cut on that top piece.
You cut part of the top piece. Yeah, that's perfect. Because these pieces fold like little doors. You've got it. These guys fold just like little doors. And these doors, one of them will go forward and one of them will go backwards to help it stand up. And so we'll get something that looks like this. And then we're going to fold. We have a bunch of little dotted lines up here, and that sort of makes it, gives it that sort of 3D nature to it. So we want to fold on all these lines. And you notice I'm still always folding in towards that circuit. Just like that.
What?
So I have all these
This
folded
one
lines.
goes in, or this one
Yep.
goes back?
You can put both of them in for now. Doesn't matter. You know, both of them go in. I just do one at a time because they don't like fold over each other. And then we've got these pieces up here that fold down like that.
Like this?
Let's see. Yep, perfect. That looks great, Georgia. And there is one fold that I actually forgot to put on here, and that is this fold right here. So this guy is actually going to fold up. So if I was holding it flat, this will end up folding up, and there's not a fold line right there. I did not think about that on my thing. All right, I'm going to check out Georgia's for a second. We want to make crisp little folds just to really press on them, which makes it a little easier. And then we've got, don't forget about these folds up here. We've got some folds up here. Georgia might have not seen them. We do have some folds in the top.
Can I do it though?
Oh yeah, here, keep folding better. All right, now the next thing we're gonna do is we are actually gonna poke 3 holes, and it shows us the 3 holes we're gonna do. And I've actually outlined all of these in the color of LED you're gonna put there if you want it to be a good normal traffic light. If you don't want it to be a normal traffic light, you can do whatever colors you want. All right, don't expect it to stand up quite yet. What you're gonna do is you'll take your little metal piece and you're gonna poke it. Let me get my Curious George book out. We're gonna poke it right in the middle of all these. And the way I like to do mine, if you have like a thumbtack or like a little metal rod or something that's sharp, here you go, George, you can start poking the holes.
Okay.
I like to get it started with the really tiny holes, and then you can take a pencil and you can actually go from the other side. So I have these little tiny holes here. I can go from this side now, so it'll push the paper in. And I'll get a pretty hole on the outside, what will be the outside. And that just makes it so I don't have to push the pencil all the way through the paper. It has like a starting point.
Traffic light.
Oh, Georgia cut out the traffic light sign. I like that, Georgia. All right, so we've got our 3 holes that are in there for green, yellow, and red. So you're gonna poke a hole in all of these little dots. All right, and if you've got a little like metal push pin, you can start with a metal push pin. Ooh, this is gonna be a lot safer than scissors. I wouldn't poke them with the scissors. That might be a little scary. You might need somebody to help you, but you could use just a push pen or a pencil. And another trick is sometimes if you only have a pencil, you could put it down where you want it, And then you got to pull up really hard. I'll do it over here. If you put it down where you want it, and then you come underneath the paper and you push up, it will make a hole for you. So that's another way that you can do that if you don't have sort of a metal push pin. But you do have to use some muscle. Beautiful, Georgia. So we want to get all 3 of those. And then again, if you do use a metal piece, you can open up that hole just a little bit like that. All right, Georgia's getting her 3 holes in there, which is good.
This is way safer though.
Thinking
it goes in slow. It doesn't go like.
Yeah, it does. We still have to be careful, even with the metal pieces, but it does go in a little slower. All right, I'm trying to think about how I can get all of this. I think I'm going to do mine sideways so you guys can see it, because I think, can we see all that?
We can.
Okay, we'll do it that way. It's always interesting wiring these up upside down. Beautiful, Georgia. All right, so I'm going to tape this in place. I'm going to tape it right here. And maybe on the other side too. And now we have 5 pieces of copper tape to lay down. The first one...
You want to tape it on the bottom too.
Tape it on the bottom. All right, we can do that. We'll tape it to the table. All right, so I'm going to give Georgia some pieces of copper tape that she can use to rip as she's going. And we are going to start with the easiest one. The easiest one is this straight one at the bottom. So we're just going to copper tape from here to here. We need to make sure that we don't cut it short, because this is going to be our switch. And if it isn't able to contact this wire right here, we won't be able to get whatever you put in this spot that I have as my green light. It won't line up. So it does need to at least reach that spot. And it does need to be able to cover the battery. So you need to make sure you get that whole length right there. So you're going to start by getting your copper tape started. We do the bright yellow one, Georgia, first. Beautiful, just like this. Yep, Georgia's got her started. And you're going to put it down and you're going to peel and stick at the same time. And again, make sure you don't sort of start it over here, because then I can't touch this one.
Right here?
Make sure you start it all the way at the end.
Right here?
Yep. And you go the entire way. All right. Oh, it smells so good in our house right now because we are making some bread. I love homemade bread. We're still using the sourdough starter from what we made in like week 2 or 3 of science. It's kind of amazing. Okay, so once you have this one, we are going to do the next easiest one, which just has 1 turn. So we're going to do this orange one. All right. And if this is your first time with copper tape, I do need to show you the trick. If you've been with us, you already know this trick like a whole lot.
Yeah, you don't want to peel it off all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it'll just get all coolly.
Georgia's got it. Like, don't peel it off all the way, because then it does this. And this is like, you can't use that. And sometimes it even rips and gets skinny. It's totally unusable. I like that you guys have been with us for so long that maybe this is like all so like, yes, we know Dr. Erica. Now we're going to do the orange one. So 1 bend in it. And I'm going to show you guys my tricks for bending them.
Which way do we go first?
I'm going to start at the bottom of mine just because that feels a little easier for the way I'm wiring. You do want to make sure it goes well inside this green circle, but not outside the green circle. So inside of it, not barely, so not something like this, but well inside that green circle, and you don't go out. And then when you get to this corner, you might be tempted to just rip it and start a new piece. And that makes your circuit really difficult. That's not a happy thing for our circuit. So what I like to do instead is I peel a little bit off, not all of it, so it doesn't get squiggly. If you need to, you can like bend it down a little bit, like backwards. So I want to go this way. I can bend it that way. And then you can actually just pull it up like that, which is handy. Now, I do want to make sure I stay as close as I can to being on top of these rails. I will show you how to manage it if the wires get stuck, because that is, oh no, look, I measured my tape wrong. I got around the corner and I measured it wrong. So I'm going to show you a trick. We don't typically want to do this, but we will do it because sometimes you might get a little frustrated. You're like, oh my gosh, I was so close. Ooh, this is a harder one though. I think I'm gonna redo this one. Only because if I put tape over it to put foil as my jumper, I'm gonna block the legs down here from touching. So I'm actually just gonna get another piece of tape. I'm gonna get a longer piece of tape. Georgia's got hers going on. I would say if this one breaks on you, you probably do want to start it over. And that's okay. You don't even have to peel this one up if you don't want to. You can just lay it straight on top. And that is not a problem. All right.
They have to be pretty precise with their taping, right?
Yes, you do. There's only a little bit of space between all of these. So you do want to be really, you want to stay on that as best you can. But like I said, I will show you a trick for fixing that if need be. All right. So I just redid that one because I think that'll make my circuit work better. How you doing, Georgia? Did you get that one down?
Right.
She's trying. Nice. She's using scissors to cut your copper tape, which is totally fine. You can also use
But Mama, wait here.
your nails. Oh, no, that's okay. That's perfect. So I'm going to show that, though, so that people know that that's okay. So Georgia's corner is a little crumply, but it's not broken. Super important. She did that without breaking. It's not as pretty as what she would like, but this works. And what you can do is you can take your thumbnail and you can just sort of press things down, and that will fix it. Crumply is fine. Ripped is when we need to fix it. So she's totally fine. Good job, Georgia. You did it. All right. So now we're going to do the same thing for all these. So I'm going to do the red one next. Hopefully I have enough. I should have enough. So I'm going to get it started again. And this red one has sort of two bins because I've got to like move it over a little bit. So once I get it started, I'm going to lay it down right on top of that red. I want to make sure I at least hit the bottom of where all of these are at. So if I start my red way up here, it's going to be a problem because my switch won't touch it. So you do want to make sure you line it up with at least the bottom down here. Just like that.
Which way do we start?
It doesn't matter. You can start at the top or the bottom. I'm starting at the bottom of it. And I'm going to go nice and slow to make sure that I try to keep some distance between this piece of copper tape here, which is what we call our ground rail, and this one, which is going to go to light our yellow light. If these two touch, what will end up happening is when I turn on red, I also turn on yellow, and when I turn on yellow, I also turn on red. But that is a problem that we can fix.
And how do you hold the copper tape in order to keep it straight?
I just pull, I have a little tension on it, and I just sort of pull straight the direction I'm going. And I can go real slow and just sort of slowly press down where I'm at. And if you just do little bits at a time, you can kind of make small changes. Now here I'm at this sort of zig piece. And so what I can do is I can give myself some extra, like that. And if I wanted to, I could pull it up and make this loop, like this.
Totally ripped.
Oh, hers totally ripped. Hang on, Georgia, we can help you. And I could just press it down over here. I don't even have to do the bop, bop, bop. I can just do that. And then I can rip it up here like this. And that's fine. Just like that. That's totally A-okay because my tape is not, my tape is not ripped. Oh, Georgia's fell off. It like started, sometimes when you do this, it's really frustrating. As you're peeling it, you don't get the whole piece of tape. It like peels, it starts peeling like a wedge. That can be really tricky. Here, I'll give you some more. Georgia, next time if you're almost there, why don't you leave it on and I can show people how to do that to fix it. All right, so I'm gonna go on to this yellow one. And if you're getting behind, you can always press pause, or like, for example, Georgia knows we're gonna be in Zoom a little later. She knows that she can also catch up in Zoom or ask questions and show me things in Zoom. She's also right next to me. I guess that might make it easier. So we're gonna start our yellow piece. And again, I'm gonna start right down at that yellow piece bottom. And you might wonder, why didn't we just continue this straight down? And that's because these would be so close together. We wanted some even spacing of them. So we'd have a little space between them. So we do have some extra bins here. But like I said, you can give yourself some extra, and if you pull it to make a loop, like that, see how I'm kind of making a little loop? I can then now press it down where I want it to go. And oh, I'm so close to that. But I'll show you guys a trick there. And I have to bend it again, so I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull my loop. I'm going to pull it down this time. And then I can sort of press it down, just like that. All right. And even mine is a little kerbobbly. It's like a new word.
Yeah, mine's different.
Oh, hang on. We're going to pause. I'm going to show you guys what we can do with Georgia's. It's touching. Perfect, Georgia. I'm so glad that happened so that we can show our friends how to fix it. All right. So she's just going to push this piece down right here to finish that off. So she's got that part. The only problem is right here. And, well, because now we can show everybody. This is going to happen to other kids too. What you can do is take your fingernail, thumbnail, fingernail, whatever you want, and you're just going to scratch away. Or you could even use like a sharp pencil. You're just going to scratch away until you can see a little bit of paper. So I'm scratching away, and now, I don't know if the video can see this, there's a really thin line of paper there. But guess what? All you need is a thin line of paper. So this will work. Look at that, Georgia.
I just had an idea for you.
Yeah.
You might be able just to lay another piece of tape, like masking tape, over each line as you go.
You could do that, yes. You would want to be careful up here. So you could do that down here, but up here we need our legs to attach to the metal tape, which is why I did not put that on the thing. So here we go, Georgia. Look, we've now separated them for you. And yeah, if you have a spot that's really close like this and you're feeling a little worried about it, like we could do exactly Evan's suggestion. We could add a piece of tape right here to make sure they sort of stay apart. That's totally fine. That will not ruin your circuit at all. I'm going to cut it right here. And that is a really useful circuit technique, is using your nail to re-separate those wires. All right, and now Georgia doesn't even need to worry about these guys.
I don't want that to be on
Oh, Georgia doesn't want this to be on hers. We'll take it up. No big deal. So that you could do that if you wanted to. Or you don't need to. Just like that. And again, you can see now we've just smushed the tape so that we have that spot. Georgia, you're doing great. Now we're going to do the yellow one. This is such a hard circuit, my friends. It's easy to be discouraged. I can see it happening in my little one. It's a really tricky one. I'm going super slow as I do this yellow. You notice I'm pressing it down sort of every little tiny bit. I kind of press it down. I'm going to get to this spot right here, and I'm going to give myself that extra tape. And I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to give myself like a little wave. Nice little wave. And once you start doing the wave, you can actually make the wave smaller too. You'll notice I'm making it a little smaller as we go. Just like that.
You can also bend this back like this.
Yeah.
To make it easier.
And then you can press your wave down. It doesn't have to look pretty. It just needs to be functional. It just needs to be not ripped is the ideal.
When this actually whipped, guess what I did?
What'd you do?
Like, when it whipped, I peeled this off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, the red one, it got a little bit of, it got a scratch. You know how tape sometimes peeled off paper?
Mm-hmm.
So I just put it over that.
Beautiful. You're doing great. All right. I also am noticing, kind of like Georgia, I am really close to this, what will be this green line. So I'm just going to use my nail to press that down. Just like that. Give myself a little bit more space. And these are things that we can check if things go wrong in our circuits as well. All right, now I have my last piece, which is green. So I'm going to give myself a nice long piece because I did learn my lesson earlier. I'm overshooting the length by a lot, and that's okay. I'm going to get this guy started. And again, you might be in a different spot. You might be working on a different color, and that's okay. You can always hit pause. Alright, so I do want to make sure I go all the way down to the end of that little templated piece. And here I've got that turn, so I'm going to give myself some space. And I can pull it the way I want it to go. You'll notice that as I do that, I can start pulling it, and it's not a big bopple, a big wave, it's just like a smaller piece. I can press that smaller piece down. And then, ooh, this is the hard part right here. I just touched, and that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that quite yet. I'm going to fix that in a little bit. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go straight up, just like that. And because I know I don't want to press this down that way. I'm gonna press it up this way, because I don't want it to touch the yellow. Oh, you ran out.
I didn't look.
Look. Why don't you finish wiring it? So just finish wiring it, and I'll show you how to fix it. So just do that part.
Went out.
Georgia's tape ripped in the middle, and that's also, we'll use that to learn a new trick. Alright, we can always learn new tricks, Georgia. And my friends, this is something I've done for a long time. So it might look easy when I do it, but it might not be very easy for you to do it. And it's not that I just woke up one morning and this was easy. I want you guys all to know that. There has been a lot of trial and error on these paper circuits for me. Alright, so I am going to show you another trick on Georgia's. Is that okay, Georgia? Can I show another trick on yours? It's a really cool trick. She says yes. Fabulous. Alright, so Georgia's tape accidentally ripped when she was down here, and she did such a good job on that corner. We want to really make sure that we can get all the way, and I'm actually noticing that there's a little bit of touching down here, so I'm going to just, again, scrape it away, which I've got to remember I need to do on mine, too, because my green and my yellow were touching. And that's okay. Nobody is perfect on their first try, my friends. Nobody. So much of this stuff is just getting back up and trying again. We're finding new ways to solve our problems. There we go. So those guys aren't touching. All right, now here comes the trick. So I'm going to finish hers, and we've talked a lot about, ooh, we don't want rips in our copper tape. And you might be like, Dr. Erica, that's clearly a rip. And I would say you're totally right. We're going to finish it. So we'll have 2 pieces of copper tape on there. I'm going to press that down just like that. We're going to come up. And if you're feeling a little discouraged, don't forget, this is our hardest circuit project of the week, and this is actually one of the hardest ones we've ever done. All right. I did make it so they overlap, but we've learned that right now it's like 2 highways for our electrons, and the electrons will come this way, and there's a whole bunch of gobbly glue, and then they've got to get up through it to go that way. What we can do, if you have some aluminum foil, and if you don't, I'll show you another trick, another way you can do this. You're going to take just the tiniest piece, like this is huge. We're going to take a small piece, and I'm going to fold it up so it looks like a piece of copper tape wire. See that, Georgia? This is how we can always fix it. You can just put this straight across like that, and there, now we have an on-ramp. We have like an exit ramp from spot to spot. So we do need to tape it. I'll use 2 little pieces of tape though, because I don't know if Georgia wants tape on there. I'm guessing not. Georgia's having a tough time. Sometimes if we're having a tough time, it could be good to take a break. You can always take a break and come back. All right, so I'm gonna just install this little jumper right on top of that guy. Okay, and then her circuit's gonna be completely fixed. And all that hard work she did will still be used. I'm gonna use a small piece of tape because I know she's not super keen on having tape in there. This will get covered up though.
Be able to see it.
Oh, it's gonna get covered up though. And I'm just gonna tape straight on over that guy just like that. This line now works, although I'm realizing maybe they're touching underneath. Let's double check. Let's just move it over a little to make sure they don't touch. You do need to make sure that that happens over the spot that broke. Okay? Yeah. I can't see because it's like it's white tape. I can't quite see through it.
Kind of like a Band-Aid, right?
Yeah, it's like a Band-Aid. And clearly we can get it on there without touching. It's just hard for me to see with the white tape. Ah, we're getting some clear tape in the video. There we go. All right. So now we can see. And it's okay if I tape over that. That's not a big deal.
We have a question.
Yeah.
What if it's ripped but not all the way?
If it's ripped but not all the way, I would keep going, but you might want to put something like this over it just in case, as sort of like an extra helper. All right? It's really nice here because it's a different color. Now you might be saying, Dr. Erica, you told me you'd show me another way if I didn't have that, and I will do that right now too. Here, George, I'm going to give that back to you, okay? Look, it's good as new. And if you didn't have the foil, this one's a little, I find this trickier to do, which is why I like foil. But if I were to take, I don't need to do it with clear tape. Let's do it with masking tape.
So we have the foil Band-Aid.
We have the foil Band-Aid, which is the easiest fix. And then there's this fix, which is a little trickier. I need to do this like that. What you would do is it's similar to the foil Band-Aid fix. You just sort of peel your copper tape off, and you're going to stick the sticky sides together with some masking tape. So I peel this little piece off, and I stick it sticky side together. So the sticky sides are together, and then you can use this as that little jumper piece on the wire, whatever you needed to happen, you could put that over the spot that broke.
Do you even need to peel the back off?
Yes. So if you don't peel the back off, it will probably work. It's a lot stiffer, and it's not as happy, I have found. It doesn't work all of the time, or you'll get like really flickery lights, is what I've learned. All right, I remember I've got to also fix this part. Even on mine, I have my green and my yellow touching each other, so I'm gonna smush one side up to make sure they don't touch. That's pretty important because I want to have green and yellow independent. And you'll notice I'm using a lot of tools to do this. All right, there we go. Oop. I just pressed it back to where I didn't want it. All right, perfect. So I've got my 4 wires going on, and any wires, take a moment and check, especially right here, are any of these wires touching each other? So you should see some white in all those spaces. And even I had some that were touching, and that's okay. I just remember pushed it out of the way with my nail. All right, fantastic. Georgia, do you want me to get the green on for you? No? Okay. Are you feeling sad? It can be tricky. This is a tricky one, my friends. All right, sometimes you might just want to take a pause and you can come back to it. That's totally fine. All right. And let me know, Georgia, here's more copper tape if you need more copper tape. And I will help you if you find a new spot. But guys, I'm super impressed. Georgia is a first grader, and she's gotten 4 of the 5 down already. That's really something to be proud of. She's measuring it. She knows how to get it started. She's being super independent. So if you're having the same troubles as Georgia and your parents not around to help you, take a deep breath because it can be frustrating, but you can do it. Okay, I know you guys can do it. This is our hardest one. It's so hard and so tricky. But if you come into Zoom, we will work on your projects together too. All right? And if you want, you can hit pause if you're still working on getting your guys' wired up. And if not, you can come along with me. We're going to put our LEDs in. Oh, I guess I could get these in without untaping this. All right, so I also color-coded the dots for our LEDs. You'll notice they're upside down from what we want, which you might think is a little interesting. And that's because this is going to actually flip over. So what's at the bottom here is at the top over there. All right, we do want to test our LEDs. So the battery and the LED, the battery gives us the power, the LED gives us the light. There's 4 ways to hook it up. We could put both legs on top, nothing happens. And that's because it's not actually a circuit. So when you think of a circuit, you want to think of like a circle. You need a circle that goes sort of through the battery. Right now I just have things on the top. Same thing if I put them both on the bottom. There's no circle that the battery is included on. I can make a circle now where it's coming from the battery into the LED and then back into the battery. So it is a circle, but you'll notice it's not lighting up. And that is because when the light comes from when the LEDs slide into these holes, and when they slide into the holes, they get so excited because they're having fun. They say, yippee, and they light up. But they're also insanely good rule followers. They will never break the rules. And their mamas told them, don't climb up the slide. And those little electrons are like, never gonna climb up the slide. So right now, we have a whole bunch of electrons that are looking at the bottom of the slide and not the top. And they're just kind of waiting. If we flip our slide around, then they all of a sudden start sliding down and having fun, and they light up just like that, which is fabulous. That's what we want. You do want to check that your battery is working and your LED is working, and the way you can do that is you can just plop one on, and if it lights up, you're good. You want to check all your LEDs that you're going to use. I'm going to check them one at a time because I'm only going to light my LEDs up one at a time. If I was going to light up 4 at a time, I'd probably want to check that my battery can do all 4. All right, so all of my LEDs and all of my and my battery all work. So we're good to go on that. Ooh, Georgia, you're working so hard. I'm so impressed. Okay, so the short leg, all of the short legs come and touch this one right here. All right, these are all the short legs. And then the one that had come up, so this is the short leg or the long leg for the red. This is the long leg for the yellow, and this is the long leg for the green. So I'm holding the red, and I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to put the short leg onto this, and the long leg right there. So I'm going to put it in here, and then I'm going to twist it so I can have the short leg in one spot, and the long leg going straight down. So I can bend that short leg over, and I could even bend it down like that, like a staple. And this one can go down just like that. And that little LED is good to go. Watch. So Georgia's broke again. And what we're gonna do, we are gonna help her get that guy going. All right. So we're gonna go, ooh, I don't actually know if that's gonna be long enough. I'm gonna get a longer piece for her. All right. There we go. And, ooh, you know what? I just noticed something super cool about Georgia's circuit. I'm going to show you guys in just a second when I finish this. I'm going to try to make sure I can use it as a way to fix her circuit. We're going to be really careful about touching. Just like this. These things can be so tricky and so hard. I get it. This is our challenging one. Don't forget, my friends, this is the challenge circuit of the week. Tomorrow is more like our, whew, we made the challenge circuit and we did it. It's an easier circuit.
It's the victory lap circuit.
It's the victory lap circuit, yes. All right. So George's, I just noticed she went like a little further down when it broke. So what I could do, I could peel up just this little part. These are all little clever ways that we can work with paper circuits. I can peel up the tail end of that and just press it in there and put a piece of tape. And that will fix it for her. So that I have copper tape to copper tape. What? That's so handy. Beautiful. All right, so she's all ready when she's ready to put the LEDs in. I am going to tape these guys in with a non-conductive tape. All right, so I do also want to make sure I don't cover up these wires. And I don't want to go all the way up top on this, so I just want to go sort of downstream. I'm just going to press these in, just like that. Please make sure your legs are touching the copper tape. I'm actually noticing one of my legs is maybe almost, it's touching, but it's almost on the paper. It makes me a little uncomfortable. I like the best touching possible. So we'll just do that. There we go. All right, so we've got that guy in. Now I'm going to put my yellow in. So I'm going to put it in from the back. I'm going to look for my short leg. So I'm going to twist my short leg because my short leg is going to go over here. And my long leg goes right there. So I can sort of make my LED do the splits. And then I can bend each piece down so it looks almost like a staple. Just like that. And then I'm going to put another piece of tape to tape those legs in. Now again, if I tape like this, that might be a problem for my green. So I'm going to tape, I might actually add 2 pieces of tape. I'll cut this one in half. I'm going to do 2 pieces of tape, 1 for each leg. Just to make sure, that's going to go off the edge, so we'll press it in a little bit more. Just to make sure that we get good contact and we don't rip anything up down circuit. And this guy's going to go on over here. And I don't need these tapes so long, so I'm just going to cut a little bit off. If you don't want to, you don't need to. Not a big deal. Maybe I'll use this for my red. Alright. And now I'm going to do my green. So again, I'm going to poke my green through the back. Just like that. And I'm going to align it so that my short leg comes over here. My long leg comes over here. I do the splits again. And I can barely make, it's like a really long staple. I can fold these down a little bit. I don't really need to. I like as much of the legs touching the copper tape as possible though. And this one I can just tape straight across. Don't have to worry. Just tape straight across and press really well on your legs. Alright, we do want to press really well on our legs. That's kind of important. And if you don't want this tape right here, you can just cut that part off. Shoot. Or you could wrap it around too. It doesn't really matter. Or you could rip it. Lots of ways to solve these problems. Alright, it's time to test it. We're going to put our battery in here. And the way that this works, so our battery is going to go here. This flips up and it touches the battery. Now nothing is happening and that's okay because I have a gap. If you were to look down, there's a big air gap between this line and these 3 buttons that we're making. So we've got this guy, but if I press over where I think some of these are, you can kind of see them lighting up through the back. And I can control it by where I press, and we'll fix that just a minute so that you'll know where to press. But first we need to tape our battery in. I like to test it before I tape the battery in if possible. It's just always handy. Alright, so I'm going to just tape on just the edges of my battery. So just like right there. See how it's just like on just the edge. Just that part right there. There we go. I don't want to tape over the top because if I do, I won't hit, this won't touch the top of my battery and I won't have that circle anymore. So that would be a bummer. But I can tape just on the bottom and that should get it pretty securely in. My battery is nice and happy now. Alright, and now we can double check again. Do these guys light up? Can I get the red? Let's see. You gotta look at where you want to go. Oh yeah, I can get the red, but it looks like it's also pressing the yellow at the same time because my finger's a little, it's like I need to hit just that spot instead of both those spots. But we can sort of try to make that work. There we go. So it will be tricky on pressing. You got to make sure you press in just the right spot. But what I did on this one is I found the spots that I could press and just get sort of like one of them. And I made little pieces to tell me where they're at. Now this will differ on yours because your legs will not come down exactly the same places that mine did. So it'll be a little bit different on yours than it is on mine, but that's one way you can do it. And then I put a blue here to remind me I need to press there, or you could put a clip there and then it'll work without that. All right, and that is our traffic circuit. I'm gonna show you guys how to fold this up real fast, and then we'll pop over into Zoom for troubleshooting. All right, so to fold this up, what you can do, you can add a little bit of tape around these 2 edges just to hold that in place. Because again, I like hiding the circuit stuff as much as possible. You don't want to fold it like super tight. You want to be able to have something that you can press down. Like that. And then one of these flaps is going to come forward to cover that. And then one of them is going to go backwards like a Z. And the one that goes forwards is we're just going to tape this piece down like that, so that it covers up that piece. All right, and the same thing is happening here. So you'll notice you don't see any of the circuitry that you actually did. All of your circuitry is being hidden, and that protects it, but it also makes it look really cool, because one thing as a society we have is we have what we call black boxes. Things just work and you can't quite see how. And this turns it into a cool black box, which just gives it like a extra sort of ooh and ah look. Just like that. So if you're worried about what your circuit looks like inside, you'll notice that I don't actually see the inside of my circuit. It's just the outside pieces, and they all hang out, and then I can press these pieces and I can turn on my light, which is awesome. That is our traffic circuit for today, which I am super excited about. Again, it is probably the hardest paper circuit I think we've ever done. I can't think of another paper circuit that has been more tricky that we've done together. I do have a piano that plays different colors, and that one's also tricky, but I think it's about equally as tricky as this one. So this is pretty difficult, and if you've got it working, amazing. If you don't, you can always come into our Zoom room and you can show me the places that you're struggling with. Or if you're on YouTube, you can always rewind and try that spot again. But there are a few things. Remember, if you have two pieces that ripped, you can add your little aluminum foil over the top. If there's two pieces that are touching that shouldn't touch, you can use your fingernails to scrape away a little tiny spot between them so they're not touching. And also make sure your batteries are working, make sure your LEDs are working, and double check that the legs of your LEDs are going in the right way. And if you've done all that and it's not working, sometimes you can press on the LED legs a little better, and that is exactly what they need to light up. All right, so from here you can decorate and add it into your Circuit City. And I'm gonna say goodbye to my YouTube friends and hello to my Zoom friends. I'm super excited to help everybody get their projects going. We only have a little bit of time, so we'll probably stay a little bit later today to make sure everybody has a working project that wants to get one. And have a great afternoon. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we're making little characters. I'm gonna make a doctor that lights up that's gonna hold like the ultimate vaccine that we're all waiting for. You can decide what kind of city worker you wanna make, and it will be much easier. It'll be our victory lap for the week. And then next week we're gonna start and make some fun paper circuit jewelry or maybe some superhero light up pieces. All right, have a great afternoon, my friends. Goodbye. Georgia, yours looks so good.